Welcome to Credit Union Chatt Box, the official podcast of Chattanooga First Federal Credit Union. My name is Michael Crosa, and I'm here to learn more about personal finance and what makes this credit union special. In each episode, we'll chat with experts, members, and staff about money topics that matter most to you. Now, this is a judgment-free zone, so don't be shy about asking questions. Learning more about money is how we get ahead. All right, now let's dive in. Hello and welcome back to the Credit Union Chatt Box podcast, the official podcast of Chattanooga First Federal Credit Union. I'm here with Terri Stencil, president, and Susan Tate, one of her wonderful team members. How are y'all doing today?
Good.
Great.
How are you,
Michael?
Doing well. Okay, so today we are talking about first-time car buyers, right?
Yes.
Now that's an exciting time. You know, somebody's just saved up enough money and they're going out and they're getting a car. So, yeah, tell me more about that and how that differs from plain old car buying.
Well, normally again, their first-time auto buyer. They've never had an auto loan before. Usually they are age 18 to 25 years old, and most of them do not have any credit established. So it is difficult for them to obtain financing at a reasonable interest rate. There are some financing available out there, but it'll be very costly to them. And a credit union is the great place for them to start.
I love that. And that sounds like it goes back to what we talked about in a previous episode about a credit union being really community forward and really there to help, you know, the people who need that help the most.
Yes.
Cool. So, Susan, do you work with folks like this often?
A lot of times, most of the young people I've had have already had cars, usually by having their parent as a co-maker to that point because of the limited credit. But we're ready to help anybody that we can.
Nice. So, okay, so that's a good question then. So then these folks are people who they may have had a car before, but bought by somebody else, a parent or that.
Or a co-maker on the loan.
Gotcha. So this is really their first time on
By themselves.
Yes,
sir.
And we do have a special program for those if they don't want to have a co-maker or someone co-sign with them.
Okay. Is that what co-maker means, or what does that mean?
Yeah, a co-maker, co-signer is, usually a parent or a grandparent. And we do look, we base it on the co-borrower, co-makers, their credit, because again, the first-time buyer usually does not have a credit score. So this gets them that start. But if they don't have someone that's willing to co-sign with them, we do have a program with some guidelines, and we will work with them on that.
Nice. So what all does that program look like?
Well, they can't have had any previous auto loans. Their minimum employment is 6 months on their current job.
Okay.
And there's some other things, but we will go up to 5.5 years. And we also make sure that that the car is in good working order, the mileage is not exuberant. There is a percentage, to pay down. And so that's, but we work with them on qualifying them for this first-time buyers program.
Yeah.
And the interest rates are in the single digits.
Oh, nice. And, we've talked before on the podcast, too, about how important it is that a credit union really provides service beyond just money, right?
Yes.
Right.
Loans. So we're wanting people to come in before they go shopping and work with you early, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
So we can help them and guide them the best way.
Yeah. What kinds of questions do people have when they come in and they're doing their first time car buying?
They just want to know how the interest rate.
The rate.
Nowadays, that's true.
Yeah.
How much will their payment be? Most of the time, the first-time auto buyers have already found a vehicle that they want. Or it may be that they're purchasing it from a friend or a neighbor. So that's the big question, their payment amount.
Gotcha. So buying a car from a friend or neighbor can be great. Sometimes there's some risk associated with that. Can you kind of talk about some like red flags or some things that people should be thinking of if they're choosing not to buy from a dealership?
To make sure that that they will receive a title.
Okay.
And sometimes they buy someone who's deceased. Well, the person's deceased and a family member's trying to sell that vehicle. And we need to make sure that the family member selling that vehicle has the right to sell that vehicle.
Because they may not,
correct.
Even if they're working in good faith, they may not have the legal ability to do that
correct.
At the moment.
That can happen. And sometimes the person that's deceased has a relative on the title. And that relative may be the one that is selling the car. So if they're listed on the title, you can usually be okay with that also.
Gotcha. Okay, that's good to know.
And then, there are concerns too, because some people will be selling a vehicle and a person is wanting to buy, but the person that has that title never got it put in their name from the individual they bought it from. So you have to really watch and know who is selling the vehicle.
I know, I certainly wouldn't have thought of that.
It's an open title.
I would have just thought, like, here's the money, give me the car. Right? No.
That can catch people sometimes.
Yeah. Wow.
So another thing, we guide them on that they will have to have full coverage insurance.
Oh, okay. Let's talk more about that.
On the vehicle.
Okay.
Yes.
Collision and comprehensive.
So they may want to check with an insurance agent prior to purchasing this vehicle, because depending on that vehicle, the insurance premiums may not be affordable to them.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Cool. So tell me about warranties. What is that and what can you provide?
The warranties that we offer is Route 66 nationwide.
Okay.
And there's 3 different warranties with the company. Okay. When we put the VIN number in for the vehicle, it will tell us which warranty is recommended for that vehicle.
Gotcha.
And then it will tell you if it's a 24-month, a 36, or a 48-month warranty.
Okay.
And our 24,000 miles, 36,000 miles, or 48,000 miles, whichever is first. You can call 365 days a year. It doesn't matter if you're out of town, wherever you're at, and they are very reputable and very good to answer your calls and take care of you.
Nice.
And a lot of times when people purchase a vehicle and we sell the warranty, we will add that to the loan. So that's already paid for.
Okay.
And then they get their agreement papers, and then they have the ability, they have an IR agreement number on their forms. So if they have any problem or take it to a lot, wherever they want to take it, it doesn't have to go to a dealership. Then the people, or the mechanic, I should say, once they diagnose the problem with the auto, then they contact Route 66. Then Route 66 agrees to pay, and then they send the check to the garage or the dealership wherever the vehicle's being serviced.
Nice. So then as the buyer, then that way I know that, if I plunk down a bunch of money on this thing and something goes wrong, that I'm covered.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool.
And then I give a pamphlet. We have pamphlets, and it gives the different warranties, and it tells you what's all covered.
Yeah.
And of course, your standard like brakes and rotors, with any warranty, that's not covered. But your motor, your transmission, your air conditioning compressor, and a lot of your major things are covered.
Nice.
And we have had no problems and have had a lot of members that have had car repairs, and we are notified by card from Route 66 who the member is and what they paid, and have had great success with that warranty company.
Nice.
And I do want to state that the cost of our warranties are almost half of what they would pay at a dealership.
Yes.
Oh.
And they don't have to wait till they finance a vehicle to purchase warranty from us. These warranties are also available to people who no longer owe on their vehicles.
Really?
Yeah. So
I have a lot of members that I've done. Their cars are paid off. I had one husband and wife, and they both bought a warranty for both their cars, and their cars have been paid off.
That's cool. So I could just come in, my car, I could just come in and get a warranty. I thought that only came at the time of purchase.
Absolutely.
And so when the manufacturer warranty expires, they need to give us a call or stop by and get a quote. I would advise a month or two before their manufacturer warranty is getting ready to expire. And I do also want to mention that when purchasing a new vehicle or even a vehicle that still has manufacturer warranty on it, you do not need to purchase an extended warranty at that time.
Gotcha.
As long as the manufacturer warranty is still in
In
force.
place. Yes.
Good to know. See, there again, providing that customer service and that wraparound care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Cool.
Chattanooga First Federal Credit Union.
Love it.
We're here to please.
And one thing Chattanooga First Federal Credit Union will do for first-time auto buyers, if they do have someone, a co-signer with them, if they make their payment on time for the first 12 months, we will release that co-borrower off the loan.
Nice. So if I come in, I co-sign with my mom, then after a year, then she can leave and it's just me
Yes,
on the loan.
Correct.
Nice. Okay.
Provided you have,
Yeah.
Paid your-
Provided it's all worked out.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Cool. Very cool. If we've got first-time auto buyers listening, they're thinking about buying their car, how do we get in touch with you?
give us a call at 423-267-7621 or stop by and see us at 3120 Broad Street.
Awesome. Well, we will definitely put that information down in the show notes as well as your website. So,
All right.
yeah, Terri, Susan, thanks so much for coming
Thank
by the
you.
podcast.
Thank you, Michael.
That's all for this episode of Credit Union Chat Box. To learn more, contact the fine folks at Chattanooga First Federal Credit Union at chatfirst.org, linked in the show notes below. That's chat with 2 T's, chatfirst.org. This show is produced by Chattanooga Podcast Studios and is a member of the Podnooga Network. If you have any questions or topics for us to cover on the show, please send us an email at podnooga@gmail.com. Now, keep in mind, this show is for informational purposes only and should not be considered financial advice. Laws and policies change often, so always check with an expert before making decisions based on what you hear in our show. We'll be back soon with more personal finance insights on the next episode of Credit Union Chat Box.